guys, welcome back to the garage. So we're working on the Stormtrooper. Been on vacation for the last little bit, about 10 days. And we did a whole bunch of fun Colorado-y kind of stuff. But I was able to get, my biggest goal was to get the rockers in the Stormtrooper. I didn't think it was going to be all that hard because I put rockers in the Bronco to be named later. And it was significantly harder than this from the standpoint I had to cut the rockers literally in pieces in order to get them in, because I bought cheap Chinese rockers and they did not fit at all. But it still only took me about 2 or 3 days to get them in. We have got the lower rockers in, and they meet up nicely with the other panels. We're primed and ready for some sealant. So now that they're done, what I'm doing is I've already done this on the passenger side, is run sealant basically along all the seams right here, up and around, so that when water gets in here, it will only drain out of the drain holes and not actually get in between the sheet metal and start rusting out like it did from the factory. So that should help with that in that respect. So we just got a special delivery from UPS. I wonder what it is. It came from Hong Kong. Alright. There we are, the new Mod Point 3 patches. Pull them out, see what they look like. There you are. All right. So there are the two hat choices. Now obviously these aren't for dinner parties. These are for getting greasy. So here was my breakthrough. I was actually starting with the lowers first. So this rocker came as one piece from, you know, whatever factory made it. And then it was taken apart into two pieces, which was smart because the whole thing does not fit in there very well stock. I actually put the two pieces back together again and bolted them together, thinking that maybe we'll try it that way. And it was so off, there was no way I could have made it fit. So took them back apart. Started with the lowers, trying to get the lowers and the bottom of the door gap to be correct, and that was futile. So then after messing with that for a while on both sides, I decided, well, how about we try the upper? Just get the upper where it's supposed to be, check and make sure that the door clears it, and then at that point we can meet the lower to it and then work with those two pieces together until we can get it right. The passenger side, which is where I started, the door wouldn't shut with the rocker in its regular position. And it was so far off that I couldn't even force it shut. I ended up having to cut several relief cuts into this rocker. Ended up cutting this whole thing right here, as you can see, to get this to drop a little bit because it was too high up in this position. Put a relief cut there, put a relief cut, 2 or 3 relief cuts in here because there is a little bit of a bulge right here from the factory. And I couldn't hammer and dolly it out. It would just basically move around. So I had to cut relief cuts in it in order to get this pressed down enough to get this in. So I'm getting ready to weld this in. This lower's already been welded, painted, and sealed. So it's good. I'm going to get this in, and then I'm going to get that one in. Off to the races. These were better quality, but they didn't fit, and so it took me Almost a month. I only worked on them a little bit here and there with all the other projects that I had, but being the last piece that went into the Bronco, it was seemingly the hardest part that I've done yet. I had to, each side was different from the other as far as what I had to do to the rocker panels to get them to fit. But inevitably they went in. I still have some cleanup work. I've got to do some grinding and some fill welding on some of these holes. But the door's shut, which I was having a problem with. The door's shut. The gap is not as tight as I wanted it to be, but I think it's going to work. I can adjust the door also. So, but they're level and they shut. I don't have the front panel on that one, but you can see the rear matches up pretty well. So, right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So, and then the other side is just as good. Now on to the B-pillar supports. Pre-drilled, coated with some primer, the B-pillar supports. And now cleaned up, kind of fixed a few, or filled in a few of the welds here, primed, and did some, put some seam sealer in there. These are going in there, and we're going to get those welded in now. Okay, got the B-pillar supports in, got the rockers in. So now we just need to remove paint from the one fender that I have left that is stock. I need to clean up the hood a little bit. There's a little bit of damage on the very front where it basically oil canned itself into a crack, and then remove the paint from it, and that is it. I will not be doing the roof in this painting segment because I still have the roof to the Bronco to be named later over there as well, and I think I'm going to do both roofs at the same time. That way I can make them buying paint once, making them match, or as stock as I can. But everything else just needs to be cleaned up. There's a few welds that I need to clean up or add welds to that were just tacked in. Do a final kind of go through and everything to make sure all the welds are ground off, and then I'm going to seal it in epoxy primer. Let's do that again. All right, so we got the B-pillars in. So the B-pillar supports are completely welded in and ground off. Still need to do a little finish work up here on the top. Take that screw out, a couple more welds there. Kind of the same thing on that corner right there. I've got that little corner weld that I did to get the B-pillar support in with the B-pillar that I've got to clean up a little bit. And then the rockers are complete. Just need to finish a couple welding spots on that, grind them down, and then on to removing paint from one fender, moving paint, and repairing a little bit on the hood right here, because there's a couple of cracks, as you can see up there, that I've got to handle. And so remove paint from it, and the grill. I have to do the grill as well. So we've got obviously some some giant dents there, some holes there. I'm probably not going to go out and buy a new grill. I'm just going to use this one and spend some time cleaning it up. I'll probably put the dash in as well and prime that with everything else. And then once I get those done, body comes off, probably put it on that rotisserie and then epoxy prime, and then start on the body work and the seam sealing. We're getting ready for our next camping trip in the Apache. And sooner or later this Apache will be towed by the Bronco as well, and that's a good look. And I actually saw a picture on Instagram last week that had a Bronco towing a Scout, and man, it looks great. So I rebuilt the interior on it, and I promised you guys a video on that last year and I didn't post it, so I'll probably get that done as well. So I apologize to those of you who are just here to see Broncos. This is primarily at this point a Bronco channel, but I've got so many projects with a family of 4 in Colorado doing, you know, things during the week and on the weekends and stuff like that. I have shot so much video over the past month that I haven't shared with you guys because it just takes editing, and I don't want you to think that I'm getting away from the Broncos or that I'm getting away from the Wagoneer when I'm working on the other cars, but at the same time I've got the video, so I might as well post it. And if you don't want to watch it, I understand completely, but there will be some people that probably do want to watch it, so I'm still going to post those things. This is a garage, so you know, we want to make it as I want to share everything that I do with you guys, and I hope that you like it. So that's a wrap from my Point 3 Garage, and I will see you in the next video very soon.